we practiced 3 little songs for the very first German TV appearance. We made a session in the rehearsal room, and there was an original drum set, a very old one, very damaged, not very nice to play. It was not fun, yeah, but I had to do my work, and suddenly I found a little box inside of one edge of the room, and there was only written waltz and beat and slow fox, beat 1 and beat 2. That made me interested, and I said, what is that? And Florian said, that's a rhythm machine, very old one, old-fashioned, but one of the first. It runs automatically. You only can choose the volume and the tempo. And I said, please connect it to an amplifier, and it was check, only that inside, you know. Very little childish sounds, and I said, it would be nice to play them only one by one, not automatically things. And said, you can do that. On top of that, there are some buttons, you know. You might boom, boom, nothing else was inside. And I said, that's crazy. So I don't have to sweat anymore, you know, because drumming normally is a strong work. I was sitting there only on the little machine like boom, chak, boom, boom, pss, boom, chak, boom, boom, pss. I said, oh, crazy how it is. And can we make some effects on it? And we had a small echo tape, you know, Echolet, a German company. And suddenly it had a space. It made boom, 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 cha, 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 you know. I said, this is crazy, this is good, you know. Everyone was interested, and within 3 days I built with another friend of mine that very first drum pad on a wooden plate with, I think, 6 or 8 round-shaped metal plates connected by wires to small metal sticks to play it, standing up like very elegant, you know, without sweating.
I'm no longer just the little stepmother. I'm no longer just the little stepmother. I'm no longer just the little stepmother. Now I'm the evil queen.
Based solely on technology. Technology is something that, I mean, you know, like the crazy Unabomber trying to get rid of technology? No way.
Technology really helps. It doesn't define the scene, but it's the thing that's helped it spread like wildfire.
It could not physically be played, a lot of that material. You cannot physically play those kind of drum rolls, those sort of bass lines.
Ding, 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 ding. You know, so much more precise than a human could ever do it. That sounds cool. It doesn't sound like people.
The advent of the sampler has made all things possible. And in a way, I think a lot of modern dance music is disappointing because all things are possible, and I don't think it's necessarily being used in that way.
There's obviously a potential in samplers for cutting up reality and building a reality that never existed before. And it teaches you and encourages you to understand the malleability of reality. And for the first time ever, every single recorded sound or sound that can be generated is available to us, ultimately, to be utilized for something we can call music.
Okay, I'm Heather Hart, and I own Sonic Groove Records along with Frankie and Adam, and I'm a DJ, and I make music as well. Personally, like, I don't use any computers. The equipment that I use and that I collect is analog. It's very warm, it's a very fat sound, and you just can't get that out of the newer machines. I get asked to play at a lot of parties that, like, all-female party, you know, we want you to play, and I refuse them all. But I take the interviews because I notice that I'm the only woman in all the interviews that says I have no problem being a woman DJ. I'm hired as much as any guy, and that's based on my talent and what I do, and not because of my sex. I'm not held back in any way. I resent that, you know, like other women saying, oh, we're oppressed, and, you know, we can't get hired because we're women, and that's not true at all. It's not.
This is like a universal language techno. I mean, if you could like get beamed Star Trek into a club in another country, you almost wouldn't know. You know what I mean? You're in another country. You're like, it's like this universal vibe that everybody has, and they're all understanding it. You know what I mean? Which is the beauty of it.
Why don't you reach for me? Why don't you reach for my soul? Why don't you reach for me? Why don't you reach for my soul? Can't get you off my mind. You're on it all the time. I need to find a lover who knows how to treat me right. Why don't you reach for me? Why don't you touch me?
You got a culture that's happening from South Korea to the middle to Lebanon to all over South America, and you have it's music for the masses.
Rave culture is supposed to be the underground thing going on. Whilst, I mean, if you go to a real rave, there's 20,000 people there. You cannot possibly call that underground anymore.
Berlin's Love Parade, when there's 1.5 million people, was an amazing sight to see.
The more popular this music gets, the more exposure it gains, the more clutches of showbiz grab into its sides, and it's the music business at that point.
The music industry tells you have to climb, you have to ascend, you have to get like the fat paycheck. So I stopped, my own little independent thing that I was doing for artists that I loved, and I went to work at the record label where they have the health insurance. And the guy was like, well, we're primarily a metal and rock label, but we want to be doing some independent dance music stuff, and we're going to tie it in by saying, hardcore techno is extreme music just like metal is extreme music, and we don't really know anything about techno.
Selling out it's not about making money, it's just selling what you believe in to all the peoples, and then not like following up on that. Like if you believe in something really strong and you can make money on it, that's cool. But if you start working with these other companies and they start like making you mutate into things that you don't believe in, then you're a sellout.
So Ronnie, you're selling out. Selling out? I hope I am, because damn, if I walk to a record shop and see my records on the shelf still, I must be doing something wrong.
Always question, first of all, and most of all, yourself. Why am I doing this? Am I doing this just because it's easy, because I did it last time, because I have to pay the rent? That's not the right reason. It just never is. Good art, good music, good experiences, change do not come from paying the rent. They don't come from being on MTV for 5 minutes. They just don't.
You don't have to fuck over people to survive. That's what makes us sick about the real world and about the way that it operates, is that people screw people over every day in the name of business or in the name of manifest destiny. Do things that are positive, constructive, not destructive.
I think we're doing what the bigger difference is that we're trying to make our own network. That isn't exactly working for a big company, doing such and such a thing, but we're working for each other.
I could buy into the cash cow, go get a job at Virgin in like the dance music department, but I'd rather just, be happy doing what I'm doing,
Right.
And I feel like it'll come around.
Are you able to make a living at it?
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I've made it. I'm doing music, and I'm not holding out a day job. I've made it.
I'm not out there trying to get the Mercedes-Benz or like the whatever.
That's all luxury items on top. It's not the thing. And there's this constant and increasing pressure in this world to think that the apparently material side effects are the actual process, and they're not.
Let me tell you all I want from you, Heidi. I don't want nothing else from you apart from this one thing I'm asking from you, okay? I'm asking just one.
My name is Robin Rambo, aka Scanner. I take a little sample the size of a videotape. I use a keyboard which you play with a pen and you draw the chords on and you draw the rhythms on and so on. I use a shortwave radio, I use a Discman, I use a DAT machine, I use the theremin, the scanner. Lots of really kind of very tiny things that fit in one silver case, and I can be like a travelling salesman, and travel from city to city and play. It's like improvising with another musician, essentially. The machine taps the airwaves, it essentially draws down these indiscriminate signals that float above us the whole time. And I never know what I'm going to catch.
Instant, uncontrollable riots among young people on every planet.
I mean, when when I play live, it's always all the like shortwave radio, all the scanned voices, the mobile conversations and so on. It's entirely live. It's a risk I take. You know, I always vow never to put stuff on tape in those situations, because the work I do in some sense is a reflection of the environment I'm in, the kind of space I'm in. So if there are no voices, nothing's happening, there's nothing I can do about it. That's merely a reflection of where I am in this real time. So last night, lots of stuff happening in New York. And there's always stuff happening in New York. You can't argue with it. So maybe pick up a voice and somebody's shouting, which makes me play really aggressively, or somebody's talking about something very dreamily and slowly, so I start playing very quiet music and so on. And the ideas around Scanner surrounding music, but also the ideas of public space and private space and the issues of surveillance and our position in our kind of society today. I mean, kind of big questions which aren't always music related, and that wasn't the original aim of the Scanner work. It's kind of being born out of the work I'm doing. I think it's just important that in some sense electronic music and electronic artists act as some kind of catalyst for people just to open up their avenues of sound and see what else is out there, to open their eyes and open their ears a bit wider.
Graveyard. So raving is perfect because I can stay up all night.
I work at Wiener Schnitzel.
La seguridad no existe. Solo existe el amor.
Orgasm I experienced on the dance floor was to Josh Swings, because he is just like amazing with the turntables, amazing, and like the energy you feel, and it just got me there, man. I've had an orgasm on the dance floor, I will admit.
My big thing tonight is if I can strip down butt naked and run around.
Yeah?
I really want to do that.
Have you ever had sex with this kind of music?
Yes,
no. It's awesome.
No,
yes.
I can't say that, but
it's awesome. It's good.
What makes it so awesome?
When you get into the groove and you start banging to the bass beat.
Number 2 is fruity. Get on the floor if you got that booty.
I got my links at Natural Wonders. They were $10. I added the elastic myself. And the jewels.
It's like this absolute just like happiness that I didn't even know existed. And it's like I just feel this closeness with people that I didn't know you could feel. And it's like everyone's just like on the same like level almost. Like everyone's like thinking the same thing. Like you can look at somebody and you just like know. You like just look into their eyes and you just know they're thinking like the same.
I don't do drugs. I don't do drugs, and just, you know, standing next to the speakers, feeling the vibe and all that sense of vibration, you know, it gives you like this natural high. The music, the trance, non-stop gives you this natural high, and you know, nothing could beat that. I had two cousins that were ravers. One died of an overdose. Coming home from a rave, he went to his room, fell asleep, never woke up.
I've seen kids drop dead in front of me, you know, and it's not a pretty thing. It's not a pretty thing to see somebody flopping around like a fish dying in front of you.
Don't mix drugs. Not good.
It's called polydrug use, and they don't settle for one drug. They take uppers and downers and a combination, and it really wreaks havoc with your body.
I think now the focus is on just people hearing about this, the media hype, you know, like, you know, drugs and this and that, and, you know, the kids come out, and it's really not cool because they're not getting into it for the right reasons.
It's almost like the media kind of reinforces what it's complaining about in a sense.
Yeah, definitely.
It's almost
I mean, the
like
media
you're telling 14-year-old kids, if you want to get fucked up, go out to a rave. You know, and then all the screw-ups go out to our parties and then wreck our parties, and they're like, oh, look at all the dumb ravers on drugs. It's like, wait a minute, you were telling them that that's where they should go if they want to be on drugs.
This is like the drug sex party of the year, and kids are getting naked and taking drugs.
They put it in Newsweek. They went in there, they talked to one, like, 15-year-old kid who was like, I come to Jungle Nation to, like, what was it, get fucked up or whatever. And then all these kids are like, yeah, now you go to Jungle Nation, and there's all these, like, little new school tweakers wearing Hilfiger gear, like, you know, Stu and Crystal, and you're just like, where did these kids come from? Well, gee,
They're from
their
Newsweek. That's where
parents
they
read
came
about it
from.
in Newsweek and said to them, you're not going to these parties, are you? Well, they are now.